What is up, everybody? Hobby with Cage 229, brought to you by Arena Club and Bleecker Trading. Took a couple of days off there, 4th of July weekend. It's nice. Got a little color. Need to shave. Did a lot of thinking. Did a lot of hobby thinking. It's been a couple weeks since I made a big sale. And, I'm not going to belabor the point here with you guys about, what to do with the money and blah, blah, blah. I have one question on my mind, right? Because I've talked about like buying cards and how it's not the easiest thing in the world. After you make a sale like that, what to do with the money. You got to be careful because you find yourself trying to chase to try to replace that hole in your PC, and you wind up overpaying because, if you sold your card because you think the market is getting hot, well, guess what? Everybody else is expecting the same type of increase in what they have, and that replacement card is going to cost you more than it would have cost you previously. The market has kind of shifted. Everything is hot in this market right now. It's pretty crazy. A lot of reasons for it. We can talk about that in another episode. But really, where my mind is now is there's one question and one question only, really, and it's with consolidation. Because we've talked about it. It's been a huge part of the hobby in the last couple of years. It's almost combined with the funding companies, right? It's, hey, buy this card, fund your cards or acquire or anyone else, send them 10 cards that are worth what that card is worth. Send them 20 cards that are worth what that card is worth and pay for that card. You know what I mean? Now, there's obvious benefits to doing stuff like that, right? You get to pay over time and, you get to use some of the, your collection that, you might not want anymore, to kind of fund your bigger purchase. But here's the negative for it. And I think almost everybody who comes to that funding thing and winds up stretching their collection pretty thin and ending up with nothing but that one big card they consolidated for is this. And I'll distill it after 2.5 minutes, half the 5 minutes of thought into this. And let's make it as easy as we can. One player. It doesn't matter who the player is. Let's say it's Ken Griffey Jr., right? Say it's Mike Trout. Say it's Steph Curry or Michael Jordan, whatever it might be. Jordan might be the easiest one. If I gave you $200,000 and said that was what your portfolio of Michael Jordan is going to be, what would you rather have? Would you rather have one $200,000 card, one top, one, to use Cajun's, a proprietary poster, one tier one of the Jordan hierarchy card? Or would you rather have 10 $20,000 cards? Would you rather have one PMG or Scoring Kings, maybe a couple of nice autos, maybe an exquisite auto, some other nice 90s inserts, maybe a star Jordan, maybe a PSA 8 or 9, 86 Fleer Jordan. What you get with those, the top end is you're able to buy a real high-end card that maybe has the ability to kind of really, I'll call it moonshot in appreciation, right? When you buy those high-end cards, if they're rare enough, if they're scarce enough, you have the potential for real increase in value. But you also don't have the same kind of liquidity. I mean, I guess a PMG Jordan you do, but you understand what I'm saying, I think it was something a little, less liquid than that. I was talking to my son about this. We went to get gas yesterday and snacks for his camp trip today. And he fell on I'd rather have $10,000, $20,000 cards or $15,000 cards or even $10,000 cards. And here's what he said. Now, I want you guys in the comments or DMs, whatever it is, to tell me which way you fall on this. He said, well, it would be cool to be one of the people that has that major card and that's sort of what you're shooting for, right? this consolidation trend that we have here is everybody's trying to get their collection to one of those top tippy top cards. He said, but here's the thing. What if a card comes up that you want to buy? Somebody else. If you're doing this with Michael Jordan and you wanted to add a Shohei Ohtani card and it's $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000 and you just don't have the money. He says it would be easier for you if you had 10 cards to sell one of them and still maintain 9 cards of Michael Jordan or Steph Curry and sell one and move it into an Ohtani. But if you have that one $200,000, $250,000 card, you can't fractionalize it. He didn't use that word. So in order to tap the equity that's there, unless you're taking a loan from somebody, in order to tap the equity in that card, you have to sell it. You have to liquidate the whole $200,000 Michael Jordan portfolio because it's only one card in order to get the money to pay for the other thing. It's a valid point. It really is. It has me thinking, what is the right way to have your collection? I don't think there is a right answer, but I'm curious what you guys think. Would you rather have one $200,000 card or 10, $20,000 cards of a player? I don't know. You tell me. And that's today's 5 minutes hobby thoughts. I am going through this in my brain right now. Why I put it out to you guys is because I don't know the right answer. As I wake up on a Monday, I think maybe the 10 might be the way I'm thinking. But when I went to sleep last night, I was thinking, buy that monster card. It's one of those fun things about the hobby. I don't know if that's the right answer, but I want to know what you guys think. And that's today's 5 minutes of hobby thoughts, brought to you by Oblique Trading and Arena Club. Talk to you guys.